Listen. Here comes the tape.
Here comes.
Stand up.
Is that...
Come here.
Secondary.
Poor Flash.
Oh, hey, look at that. That's a lot of help people in the background. What episode are we at? Like 300?
9.
It's almost the same thing. We've been doing this for a year. We have 9 episodes. We're talking about Avengers Infinity War. And we brought a whole bunch of friends with us because that's what they did in that movie.
Some of them are old friends. Some of them are new friends.
And like Ant-Man and Hawkeye, 2 of our recurring characters couldn't make it.
Yeah. They would have been sitting right here. John and Russ. They'd rather be with their families than helping us out.
So who do we got here?
Well, we have Joe Tobel. We have Xander and Kim from Geek Prime. We have Sal from the Sparrow Film Project. And we have Chris Joslin, filmmaker.
Important to note, not like big into comic books.
Even though we normally build something purposefully, we wanted to just invite chaos.
Legos. Should we remind everyone, we're covering every possible spoiler.
We're even going to spoiler while this little rubber thing is mixed in with your Legos.
I don't even know. Just don't get into it. I don't know. You're going to know who died, who lived, who maybe died and maybe lived.
Yeah, we're going to talk about...
It wasn't very clear.
Oh, Nick, what you drinking today?
I'm drinking iced tea. I like your mug, by the way.
I don't even know what NF is. Oh, it's Nick Fasulo. Hey!
You love me.
Let's figure this out and get to work. So first things first, we're going to start with these 2 short-haired gentlemen. So yeah, one thing that I had noticed is that as far as a standard film goes, that this is not a standard film. It has no standard story arc or character arc. There is no plot development. There's no character development. It's really kind of just one slow incline. In a lot of ways, Thanos is the main character.
I was going to say there is character development, but it's for Thanos.
Yes.
All the character development for all the protagonists was done already in the 18 films beforehand, and the only character development that's necessary is Thanos's.
And then even his development, though, I would debate it as development so much as you learn more about him. He doesn't change. He doesn't have like a hero's arc where he's like, now I need to do this. And you're like, oh, he's got a reason. And that's kind of all that happens.
Sure.
But yeah, it's definitely not a movie that you could have made without 18 movies. But like, it really is a comic book event. If you hadn't read the other 10 storylines leading up to it, you would have sat there and read that, opened up the comic and gone, I have no idea what is happening and why all these people are fighting.
This kind of movie has never actually happened before. The closest thing I can think of to the MCU films is like the James Bond series. That doesn't even really come close to like what the MCU has done.
I actually kept waiting to see if they would do it, knowing that they probably wouldn't. To see if like any one of their, like 40 characters that they had would all of a sudden go, actually, I agree with Thanos. Maybe I do understand his reasonings and like jump ship and actually go to his side. Oof. And no one, but it's like, that would have been character. That would have been a really interesting thread.
One thing I thought that was interesting is that everybody kind of did, none of their motives were selfish. Other than Quill. Like, they were this close. They were this close. That was it.
It was his plan. Why didn't he wait 10 more seconds? He knew the plan.
Right. But it didn't really bother me.
Because that speaks to one of my points. Do we trust in what Doctor Strange is doing?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
We
have no choice.
Like, well, no choice. Well, that was that. We're done.
But he had a plan. He saw this as the only way. He knew that everyone was going to die at the end, and he knew that there's an end game, as he put it, and Tony Stark was a big part of that, and he had to live. Blah, blah, blah. None of us know how to play anymore.
Right. Whatever. I made this thing. It even moves.
I have this thing.
Going back to your original point, Joe, like it's not a traditional film, and that's what makes it so interesting and fun. I'm not a huge comic book nerd. I like most of these films. I like all of them. I just think it's cool what they've been able to accomplish from a filmmaking point of view.
Dude, wholeheartedly.
Definitely the most ambitious film maybe ever.
Now, I want to know about Ant-Man, Wasp, Hawkeye. Captain Marvel.
After we left the theater, so my friend was like, you know what'd be really messed up is if like the end scene is just Hawkeye and his whole family just goes poof.
I think at the beginning of part 2, Ant-Man and Hawkeye are each going to lose a family member. And that's immediately going to drag them into whatever's going on. Hawkeye has a wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
All 3 of them could easily just poof, turn into nothing.
By odds, 2 of them were gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did this horrible, like, 1 page in the comic book where it's just all the headshots of all the people who are dead. Like, they didn't even bother explaining it. They were just like, here you go.
It was just a quick in memoriam.
Dead.
Yeah, seriously.
Ned is also left.
You know, one of my biggest complaints, I actually have this as a note, is there was not enough Ned in this film.
That's true.
We got
Very
about
little Ned.
30 seconds of Ned.
1 line of Ned.
But he did his job.
He did.
And he did it well.
He said,
I'm
we're all gonna die.
The next film is gonna be like Ned Saves the Day.
That's
It's
right.
all about Ned.
Maybe.
I want
beats Sam.
a Ned film.
By
Yeah,
proxy,
me
Ned
too.
did,
I want a Ned.
Ned did save the day in this movie.
Ned
Because
too.
if he hadn't caused the distraction, Spider-Man would have been able to leave the bus.
Sure.
And,
Who knows? Who knows what might have unfurled
Ned
from there.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Drift.
The search for Ned's gold.
Valkyrie's also out there somewhere.
Oh no!
Oh, I thought she
well,
was dead.
she's
I thought
dead.
She's dead.
yeah,
Did we see it happen?
No, but you know what?
but
She's
like
on the
the
ship
ship
when they all
went-
die.
And it got blown up.
Yeah.
So
I swear they made a reference later on in the movie to the existing Asgardians.
It would be pretty messed up if.
And Sal's agreeing with me over there.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for me. Will we see an Iron Pepper?
I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah. No.
I think we will.
Why?
Heroes are sparse right now.
I think she's gonna
I'd
like
rather
bring out some
see a
healing
Spider
crystals.
Ned than an Iron Pepper.
Spider Ned.
I mean, in both Marvel and DC, I just don't like the wholesome.
Gee whiz guy.
Yeah, aw shucks, gee whiz.
Yeah,
dude.
but
I hate that.
he's a product of the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
That's how they talked to some
I
degree.
mean, they were also racist back then.
Did you just call Captain America a racist?
Yeah, you are.
If the shoe fits.
Yeah.
His best friend is black.
Yeah, he hangs out with Sam, but he's always wondering where Bucky is. He's always trying to find Bucky. He does not care when
You're right.
when Sam's in trouble. He's Sam will be fine, but Bucky, I gotta save Bucky.
Well, that's because
So-
he has some feelings he's not ready to deal with yet.
Well, then that's a whole other thing.
And he is a product of the 30s and
There you
40s.
go. There you go. So yeah, that was interesting to come out of the. Will we see an Iron Pepper?
I think we'll see an Iron Pepper. I'm putting it out there.
I quit if we see an Iron Pepper.
Hey, Sal. Tell us about Thanos.
I was expecting a blockbuster movie with a big purple guy that punches things. He was more than that. Marvel has learned its lesson. They had some really crappy villains. They did villains kind of, with the exception of Loki. But my favorite
Absolutely.
Marvel MCU villain of all time leading up to this was Kingpin in Daredevil Season 1.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason for that is, whether you like the show or not, his point of view was, I'm going to sacrifice, do evil things that I know are evil, that I don't want to do. I don't see myself as evil. I see myself as the hero of my own story. But I'm going to do all these awful things because it's going to help people. They just took Kingpin's basic character type, and instead of Hell's Kitchen, the neighborhood, they just made it the universe. Marvel learned from how good that villain was, and they just applied it on a bigger scale. And it was really cool.
I think an interesting point, going off of what you just said. If you look at real New York and what Kingpin was trying to do, the real Hell's Kitchen is essentially Kingpin's vision. It's becoming all high rises and everybody loves it. So maybe Thanos destroying the universe, maybe everyone will love that. Maybe
Thanos is gentrifying the universe.
maybe he's making the universe a little better.
There's certainly going to be more real estate available.
there is.
That
It's
was
gonna be-
Kingpin's main jam, so.
Every other planet's a Buffalo Exchange,
Thank goodness.
Ample Hills Creamery.
yeah.
I have a really embarrassing thing to admit. So when I watch the movies and he goes to pushes Gomorrah off the cliff,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he gets the Soul Stone.
and Red Skull or whatever turns around, totally thought that was Mistress Death. And so everyone was like, "Woo!" and I was like, "Woo!" for like a completely different reason.
I wonder if everyone that wooed when they saw Red Skull thought about the fact that they're wooing for a Nazi.
That's true too.
Nazi! Yeah, he's still a Nazi.
Once a Nazi, always a
That's
Nazi,
right.
guys.
That's right.
I thought the Red Skull thing was really weird. I'm like, yeah, I know he touched the Tesseract, he's in space. I'm like, I don't know how he became the Yoda of the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Because the
movie.
script.
Sometimes things are just poorly written, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know. The Red Skull thing, whenever he popped up again, first off, I'm so, like, comic book dumb that I thought it was Doctor Doom for a very,
different character.
He's got the green hood, you know, whatever. But when I finally realized it was Red Skull, I was kind of just like, oh, Red Skull.
Oh, is that dude?
And then I, like, moved on. I was
Why
like,
is Jim
I was like,
Carrey's
all
the
right.
mask red?
That whole scene, I was like, Gomorrah, you should have known.
We all
like
immediately
everyone
knew.
immediately
As
knew
soon
what
as
was
Red
going
Skull
on,
was like
except for
someone you
Gomorrah.
love.
That was very silly, and she was like, "Ha ha," because you don't love
like, you don't love
anyone.
They've just been showing home movies of you and Thanos for the last like 40 minutes. Get out of there! Come on.
Yeah, it was
Molly,
girl.
you in danger, girl.
There's almost no point in this movie that you can get up to go to the bathroom.
I
This
love
is a
it.
packed,
Yeah.
packed film.
Well, I feel
You're
like
gonna
you
miss a lot.
Do you have some thoughts on bathroom
Yeah,
breaks?
about halfway through when Thanos, he's taken Gomorrah and he's trying to figure out where the Soul Stone is, I really had to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, he was still in the same scene and Nebula's like hanging and her eyes popping out. And I'm like, oh, well, something could happen. I was able to sort of put it together. But on that point, one of the reasons I felt comfortable going to the bathroom is because I knew
discussion.
that
I like this
scene
topic.
was going to go on for at least 5 minutes. Because every scene in the film, like, sort of plays out.
When would each of you guys have gone to the bathroom
Great question.
during that movie?
During the credit roll, when all of the visual effects artists are listed.
I could have gone to the bathroom for the Gomorrah flashback knife scene.
Really? I thought that was
I thought
important.
that was, yeah.
It
that
wasn't
was
that important.
critical.
I mean, it was pretty important. It gives weight to their relationship, though.
I mean, I thought the most important thing in that scene that like she ends up stabbing him with the knife that like he gives
Right.
her. And other than that moment, I thought though like, oh, see, look, honey, it's perfectly balanced. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get over your like your universe perfectly balanced thing. We're gonna do that about 30 more times
I
throughout
think
this film.
not only did it lend to their relationship, but it lended to his reasoning for doing what he did, because later he references that planet and says how good that planet's doing now because
Well-
he cut the population in half, and it wouldn't have made sense. Now that you saw it, and it makes more sense.
Listen, I'm just talking about when I could have gone to the bathroom.
Do we trust his self-reporting though?
Maybe he killed 100% of their smartest scientists and left all the dummies to figure out what to do.
And they're all just sitting there building with Legos.
Just a bunch of idiots
Well,
playing with Legos.
What else did you
That
guys do in
episode.
the bathroom?
I have to say, I've gotten very good at picking the right moments to go to the bathroom in movies.
Okay, when would you have gone to the bathroom?
That first fight scene, I keep forgetting happened. Friends
The
about-
New York one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Really?
definitely the
And
weakest
they'd be like,
one.
yeah, remember that? And I was like, I think I watched a different movie.
Bad CG in that scene. Bad
Yeah.
CG because it was
forgetting-
all grounded in reality, but you had like cartoon characters flying all over the place.
Yeah.
And the guy who looks like the Harry Potter villain.
Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw,
Maw
yeah.
looks like Snape.
Oh, he
No,
does.
no.
Yeah, he looks like Snape.
No,
Come
you know
on.
who he looks like, and I'm the only
Snape
nerd in
with a
this room
skin
that's gonna
condition.
know this reference. There is an old bunch of like they were computer PS and Xbox games called Oddworld. He looks like a Gluckin.
He also looks like Squidward.
Like
well,
so.
yeah, as they made the reference in the film. He looks like an Oddworld Gluckin. It's really, really funny.
Also,
Like,
they're
it's
called
just-
the Black Order, which no one ever says out loud in the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't work very good with the past continuity because if he has you get to that flashback scene with Gomorrah and the Black Order are there. So clearly Thanos has been using them for decades. But then you get into like the past movies and you have who's Thanos using to try to get stuff? He's using Loki. He's using Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah.
He's using all of these
Nebula.
like he's using like all of these like random gimpy people that are like not useful at all. And Ronan doesn't even get the stone himself. Ronan then sends his other guy to go get it. Can you imagine if like when the beginning of Guardians Peter Quill lands on that desolate planet by himself, and he gets up to just literally any one of the Black Order. There's just been like, and done, and that's the end of the film. And like, that's that. All right, well, this is just a quick question. The Stinger with Captain Marvel, right? Why, throughout the other threats that have come upon the planet Earth in the last 10 years, why is he only using this pager now? For everything, like everything else that's gone on.
Maybe it's a shield do by self kind of thing, and now he's finally like, all right, fine, gotta call Captain Marvel. I don't
mean-
want to. He's crying uncle.
For all we know, part of her backstory is whatever happens in the events of her movie, which are in the past, maybe she needs to be somewhere else in the universe.
Yeah, maybe she's unavailable.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Maybe he has texted her before and she never showed up.
Yeah, yeah.
New beeper.
I
who
can't. I
dis?
can't. Yeah.
clearly the pager that she had like alien tech on it, which we can, let's say it's Kree tech just for the sake of this argument. And I'm like, you know what I honestly think would be funny is like he just like lost it for like 10 years.
He moved.
Spring cleaning last
Yeah.
week.
It was in his 8-ball jacket.
David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury had it this whole time. Maybe that's what maybe this whole thing's just an Are You Afraid of the Dark extended episode. Whoever it is a really good storyteller. I mean,
It's the kid with the glasses, hands down.
So the comic book was a completely different story, completely different characters. I think there's very, very little overlap. There's Doctor Strange was in it, Spider-Man was in it, but played a super minor role. There was a lot of people in the comic books that we didn't even see.
Well, and then for
in the
starters,
movie.
why is he trying to kill everyone?
Oh, because he's in love and she won't pay attention to
It's
him.
completely different.
It's like just.
He's in love
It's like
with
silly.
He's in love with death, the
Mistress
female
Death.
personification of death, and him trying to impress her is like, well, I'll kill everyone in the universe. That'll impress
Yeah.
her, which is so adorable.
It's like the dumbest reason to kill half the universe.
Yeah.
It's like she won't pay attention to me.
I'll get the 6 most powerful things in all of creation so I can get a girl to like me.
You start with sending her a Sherry's berries, and you work your way up.
Who is a key player in the comic book that does not exist in the MCU yet?
Wolverine.
Yeah. That's a great answer. Wolverine was there. Silver Surfer. What's this?
Adam Warlock.
There it is.
There we go.
He's
Three.
technically in the MCU.
Yeah.
He was
Because
introduced in a stinger in Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians
2.
in his cocoon.
But
It
they,
is-
said,
oh,
they
yeah.
already said he's not
But-
going to be in Infinity War.
Without Adam Warlock, would it not seem that the obvious person that's going to step in that place is Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
Like-
I thought Doctor Strange, but
yeah.
didn't Doctor Strange evaporate, so it can't be Doctor
It
Strange?
can't be Doctor Strange.
what if he like fake evaporated?
He just
Everyone's doing this evaporation thing. It's like,
pulls a blanket over himself because, oh no. For me, get
Oh.
Jenga.
This is why we can't have nice things. Lastly, Earth 616. Most of the Marvel Universe stuff in the comics takes place on Earth 616, which is our designated Earth in the multiverse. In both an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in the Dark World. So it is part of MCU canon. The movies are at Earth 616. Is the way that they're going to fix everything by going to, you think a
Earth.
different Earth will be involved?
how DC of them.
very DC.
Well, they have to get rid of a bunch of actors because their contracts are up and they don't want to do it anymore. I figured with Doctor Strange they were going to introduce multiverse. You could have a new Tony Stark. You could have a new Captain America.
Maybe the Ultimates.
That's the way.
Miles
back and do it.
Morales.
You
can do whatever
that would
you
be
wanted.
so rad.
That's how you introduce the X-Men.
America
If the
Chavez.
sale goes through. You can
X-Men
do
and
that.
Fantastic Four. Say like they don't
Silver
succeed, the world
Yes.
does end. But like 5 of them get out and they get to go to another Earth. And in that Earth, oh look, now there's mutants.
They tied it up all nice, and now let's
This one's spent. Let's just move on to the next one. Hey, Joe, what do you give this movie?
This is such a hard movie to rate. Because like as we just said, it's not a movie. It's a
Rate it with your soul.
I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Because when I watch a movie, I want to be like, you know what? Like I really got out of this film. Like I really got this. I didn't get anything out. Like it was enjoyable. It was a fun, enjoyable film.
Did you enjoy Annihilation more than you enjoyed Infinity War?
I enjoyed this movie more, but I will watch Annihilation many more times than I will watch Infinity War.
You'll get more. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Kim.
purple.
That is correct.
Yeah, so do I win. I really liked it. I'm just I don't count because I feel like I'm too invested.
I think that makes you count even more so.
The only thing that I regret is that you literally cannot take a friend who has not seen
No.
any of the other movies to this movie.
Yeah.
You have to be in it. Xander.
I'll give it 3 oranges out of a fruit basket. I mean, it's not the one pineapple in the basket, but it's better than the 6 grapes. You know what I'm saying?
I give it an 87 out of 91.
That's up there.
That's actually very high.
Very high.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think it was not perfect just because it couldn't be. It was just this insane thing. But the fact that it exists, awesome, and it's up in my top 5
Wow.
comic book movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
High praise. High
Yeah.
praise. Chris.
I'm kind of in the same camp as Sal. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. That 0.5 is for bad Iron Man CGI. And really, that's kind of it.
This is the movie we've been waiting 10 years, 18 films for. So because of that, I'm giving it 18 out of 19.
Wow, that is.
Oh yeah, that just happened.
That is Nick's most reasonable score he's ever given. That one made
You
sense.
got one more year to.
It's like, I give it 3 bananas out of a chocolate pie. And you're like, great.
That sounds delicious.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up.
A huge thanks to Kim, Xander, Sal, Chris, myself, and Joe. I'm thanking us, of course. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and
Hit the bell.
ding the bell.
I'm the best.
Yeah, you are now. Happy
So
birthday.
you're notified when we post new content.
And all 5 of you that are still left that are frogs.